breakdown uses the complete collection, now available to watch on Thriver Studios' YouTube channel. Hello viewers, welcome to my first ever breakdown video about my original Halo Machinima miniseries, Wiseguys Sliver. I have finally finished this series, thanks to my wonderful voice actors and crew. Here in this video I'll explain references, fun facts, Easter eggs, and more. For those to know, there will be spoilers, as well as mentioning scenes from the novel that weren't featured in the Machinima Adaption. Yes, the miniseries is based on the novel in right, with the same name. So, spoilers all around. Let's begin. First things first, let's talk about the name. These four are called Wiseguys in the near future, an insult given by Dragon in Genesis, which Genesis is the sequel, by the way. Since this may or may not be that important to the story, I've decided to call them, and the novel, that name, even though that's not what they're known for yet. Sliver, the name in this story, is based on the fact the soldiers of Outpost Red 3 and their command, the NGDS, had lost connection due to another faction known as the Temple, who secretly have undercover soldiers in nearly like every faction across the Sprite. In a sense, their connection has been slivered, hinting the name choice. The complete collection opens with this shot, once before being the teaser to this miniseries. What is shown is a small fragment of the prologue from the novel, but those other scenes weren't available due to the fact that they could not be perfected with Halo's mechanics. An NGDS soldier drops Eric Coliseum. This was sometime before the NGDS lost connection to Outpost Red 3. Eric, voiced by yours truly, is his first time at this base. The NGDS driver returns to the direction he came from, just to have his engine shot out by a man in a brown and yellow armor. This man is named William Burns. He is a soldier of the Empire. After the driver attempts to restart the engine, William comes up from behind and knocks him out. This is all we see, but for those who are interested in what happened to him and William, it's said in the prologue. Check out on reading them for like the first 5 chapters. After the intro, it begins with Eric in a jeep moving a barricade. The scene here is actually shown in chapter 3 and 4. Here with Eric is John, his sergeant. John Danelight is voiced by Hayden Jackson, PJackVO in TikTok.
Hey, you better stop firing or else I'll launch this rocket at you. What's going on here? That hurt!
I suggest you check him out. He's an amazing voice actor with a great many vocal tones. Need a voice actor? Contact him. Later, West arrives, voiced by the amazing Grumpy Elite. He informs John that Peter has not yet fixed the radio. They, of course, believe the radio is broken, while it's actually being cut off. After sending Eric to inform Peter and West to check the surroundings for any threats, John, of course, makes a nod to the Twilight Zone. Eric arrives at Peter's personal garage to retrieve Peter. Before he could enter, Peter's able to stop him. Peter Williams is voiced by Hero Gameplays, another amazing Machinima content creator. After informing Peter of John's order, Eric makes his way to the control room. In the far distance, scouting upon Eric, is Recon and Soldier 24H2, 2 soldiers of the Empire, voiced by Justin DG and Boog Squad. Funny enough, these two also voice other characters in the same universe. Justin DG as the Black Wings leader, and Boog Squad is Winter. Characters featured in the Winter Assassin. Fun fact, the event of the Winter Assassin takes place 3 days before the events of Sliver. Harold, Soldier 24H2, is ordered to inform the Empire General, known as Leader, the fact their plans can commence, Leader being voiced by Megalodon 302. The next section opened up with Wesk asking Eric why he joined the army, or if he's been drafted or not. Eric replied livefully, as well as some of my best acting yet.
What? Oh, I just
Dead. West decides to make his way to his living quarters. Meanwhile, on the roof, Peter attempts to fix the radio, with John standing beside him. John asks Peter how to fix the radio because he's really bad with direct connection to electronic devices. I wonder why. Spoiler alert, I won't tell you. Eventually, West leaves from the back entrance of the base. His sight is drawn to vehicles driving towards him. He quickly makes his way to his sergeant, doing a cute little hop in doing so. As West tries to inform John and Peter, they are fired upon. The 3 duck out of the way. If you haven't figured this out yet, these soldiers are of the Empire. Eric pokes his head out to see the commotion just to duck out of the way himself. John attempts to blow up some soldiers but fails. West jumps over the barricade and fires down onto one, killing him. As well as a few other bullets he fired made contact with the engine of the jeep behind the soldier he had killed, caused the engine to blow up and kill 3 soldiers. the Jeep's destroyed frame lands in front of a pile of fusion coils. As a few soldiers are distracted by West, John fires a shot of his rocket launcher, successfully killing the two. As John gloats, he is shot in the shoulder by another Empire soldier. Two other Empire goons go around the rock where West hid as they were about to end him. A Jeep that does not belong to the Empire drives from another direction and runs over the other soldiers. The soldier who drove this vehicle is Sarah Samari, voiced by Jill Flanagan, also known as Kata J. Frost. After Sarah single-handedly kills these soldiers, the Wiseguys seek out to learn who she is. With a quick decision, we get another reference. This, of course, is a reference to Disney Plus' original The Mandalorian.
It's 4 against 1.
I like those odds.
We have you 4-1.
I like those odds.
They decide to move inside the base to discuss why the Empire arrived and what they seek. Sarah explains to the four that the Empire are here to retrieve data from the base's computer servers, something the Wiseguys were never informed about. Sarah and Peter begin to search the servers, with Eric following them. John and West leave the base to set up more barricades for the next wave of Empire soldiers Sarah told them about. And soon, more soldiers arrive. Back at the base, Sarah and Peter continue to search the files. Eric decides to leave and check how John and West were doing. It turns out John and West had made a giant pile of crap as defense, ordered by John, of course. Though West had found the idea useless, also, John isn't dumb. It was merely the fact that John had lost a lot of blood. And yes, that means he hasn't been patched up yet. In fact, West and Eric are right, for the barricade didn't hold up. A grenade is thrown and blows up the pile of crap. West, Eric, and John look towards the direction to see Recon, Harold, and an Empire soldier. Recon, compared to the other soldiers of the Empire, attempts to persuade the Wiseguys to leave, or else they will all be killed. John, of course, denies the chance. Before anything more could happen, Recon also snipes the rocket launcher out of John's hand. Before anything more could happen, Leader and the next wave of Empire soldiers arrive. The 3 of 4 Wiseguys retreat to their base. Leader and Recon ensue a conversation. Eric informs Sarah and Peter the Empire has returned. But a soldier, where there was supposed to be 2, the scene is actually different from the script and novel. Peter misses terribly and Sarah is there to kill the soldier. This change of scene was a reference to a scene to this project's biggest inspiration, Red vs. Blue.
Maybe aim for the head next time.
I'm sorry, I got spooked.
Something doesn't seem right to me. I'm gonna have to call this in.
Absolutely. Call it in. Let me just... Now!
Hey, can I get a little help? I'm out of bullets. Thanks.
Sarah picks up a gravity lift and heads outside. The 4 watch as she places it... Hell, why am I explaining it? Watch this. Disappointing, ain't it? Yeah, I didn't spend enough time to gather the scenes of the Jeep actually killing soldiers, but you want to see some bloopers? Leader and Recon talk more. Anyways, Peter sees upon his personal garage, and an idea comes to his mind. He makes his way to the structure, leading him to try a shot at an Empire soldier. He misses, causing another Star Wars reference to ensure.
Ah! The Empire Strikes Back!
Get it? Because they're called the Empire and they strike back. Okay, sorry. Bam! Peter drives out with his chopper. Well, it's a chopper here, but it's actually called Project Jade. The name will soon become Jade and Core Ride in the sequel. Spoiler alert? I guess it was. In the chaos, Recon attempts to snipe Sarah, but West quickly throws down a bubble shield and prevents her from dying. Peter, with Project Jade, attempts to kill Recon, but the sniper backs away. Sarah and West retreat to their base, with Sarah asking John what the vehicle Peter was driving. But the Wiseguys could only assume this was the project Peter's been working on. Peter goes back around with his bike, just for the engine to be shot out by Recon. As Peter runs back to base, 2 soldiers chase after him. Before they can do anything to end the life of the mechanic/electrician, he is saved by fellow soldiers of Cyberplasma. Dragon, voiced by Dan Renko of Lazy Bunch, and Gates, played by the amazing Cameron Smith, also known as Moonlight Ninja. Check out both of their channels, these 2 are great content creators. After a reunion between Sarah and the 2, the 3 begin to fire down the Empire soldiers, as well as West assisting. Leader grows tired of his soldiers dying off. He himself goes into the fight, dual-wielding 2 SMGs. He fires down onto Gates and Dragon, who quickly retreat. Recon as well disarms West with his rifle, as well as wounding Sarah. Before Leader could fire down onto West and Sarah, John had retrieved his rocket launcher, giving probably the most confusing line of this whole video.
Hey, Purple! Take this, Glover!
Okay, let me explain this. John was referencing the actor Donald Glover. Why? Well, with the insult, "Hey, Purple," this was referencing to a movie Donald Glover played in, The Color Purple, a 1985 movie. Pretty good movie if you're able to deal with racism and all that. John is able to shoot a rocket at him, but the leader survives. It's not entirely obvious, but some of his armor is gone. Leader's not a super soldier or immortal. He's actually an android. Now, Recon yells out "Wire," which is the name Recon gave to him when they first met. The sequel goes more into their backstory. Before Leader could do anything else, Gates in a Jeep drives off the base and crashes down onto him, temporarily seizing him. Dragon, in the meantime, goes around down the hill and helps Sarah up. They all begin to fire back at the soldiers. Gates informs the rest of another wave of Empire soldiers are approaching. The Cyberplasma soldiers decide to retreat, for they have the data. John asks what will happen to him and his men. Gates suggests the Wiseguys could come with them. With some resistance from Dragon, it's decided they will all arrive to Cyberplasma HQ. As the group moves out, Leader throws the Jeep off of him and runs towards our protagonist. Recon has Sarah in his sights and pulls the trigger, but Sarah draws her sword and deflects the bullet, nearly hitting Leader. Sarah runs off. Recon tells Leader he is unable to see them, but Leader tells him not to try to fight them, for they already have the data. Leader is certain the original data is still in the base. Sometime later, aka like the next day of travel, our protagonists arrive at Cyberplasma HQ, with some resistance from Eric. They all make their way inside, and that is Wiseguys Sliver. The sequel will surely not get an adaptation anytime soon, but it does take place a few weeks after the events of Sliver. As well as the sequel will be much longer, more depth, character development, and lore, as well as a few returning characters from another project, The Winter Assassin. That machinima in itself will get its own breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the machinimas I make. Please consider subscribing and sharing this video or the Sliver video with your friends. This project may not show it, but this universe has so much lore and world building, I plan to make several videos devoted to explaining factions, characters, and a lot more, as well as information across the entire Thriverse. I'll see you guys later.